This video is going to show you basically how to start up a new game from the first time you get the program. So you'll see obviously there's some information on the page I have here from a previous game, but if you were to get that program for the first time, that page will be blank there. So what you would do is you would go into options up here in the top left and you left click. Options will come up and you go into matches. Now as you'll see again, I have some games there that I've worked with already, but if you were opening this for the first time, that will be blank. So you'd click here, add new, which is what you'll do at any stage you're adding a new game. Now for the sake of demonstration, I'm going to start with two teams I haven't done before because it'll be a clean slate with those teams in the program, which is what you'll have the first time you use it. So we'll say Meath and Louth, duration 70 and real 70. That's something you'll see the significance of when you look at the possession video, and the location and the competition. They're just for your own records. They don't actually have any significant effect in terms of statistical analysis, but obviously for your own record it's quite useful. And then game type, obviously football or hurling, is significant because the templates for the two games, while they're similar in some regards, they're quite different in others. So this game we're going to say is a football game. So we'll click OK, and then we'll click on, you'll see that game has appeared, number 31. We'll click on that game and we'll open. Now at this point I have no players marked for either team, so let's have a look what we do. You'll see above the team name here, we'll say we could go Meath or Louth. We're going to go with Meath. Players. Now again, I have a mix and match of players from various teams in there, but in order to find my team, if I have more than one, go in here where it says all, click M, there's Mayo and Meath, so we'll click Meath, and then you'll see here all players, add. So I'm going to add a new player. You'll see please enter player's name, so we'll put in there Paddy O'Rourke. We press OK, and then I can just click on his name and put him into this team. I could have put him into the other team. Click on his name, he could have gone either way, or if I've made a mistake, back to the centre, but obviously he is in fact the Meath keeper, so he's gone. Sorry, there we go. He is in fact the Meath keeper, so he's going into the Meath team. Paddy O'Rourke, and again you'll see number 1 beside his name. So we'll add a new player. So the first time obviously you use the program, it'll take a few minutes to get set up with getting your players into the team, but as you're about to see, once they're in, they're saved there for future games. So there you go, and you would go so on so forth down the teams. So what we're going to do now is we're going to look at a new game with a team I've worked already, because after your first game, that's basically the way it's going to be. So we'll say add new, and this time I'm going to say Dublin. You'll see they're in there already, so I just have to click down here now and it's saved already. Same again, we'll say we won't say Mayo because it's in there already a few times. Meath, duration again, we'll say 70 and 70 for now. Location, we'll say Croke Park, and competition we'll say league. Again, doesn't really make any significant difference for the value of what we're illustrating here. So football again. Okay, so now we're imagining at this point, as is the case, that I've already analysed Dublin before. So I click there, I open. Now let's say I go into my possessions here, players. I have no players assigned yet, however again I go into all, D for Dublin, and now my list of Dublin players appears. So let's say now I can get that first 15 in much quicker. So we'll say first one there, Stephen Cluxton is there already. Click his name, click the arrow. Now you can actually do it even faster, and I'm going to show you how. So let's say for the sake of argument, the next day Dublin are playing, we might have Darren Daly, number 2. Now I'm going to hold control and click it, the same as you would to choose multiple options in any laptop function. And let's say Philly McMahon was number 4. You see the order I've pressed those in? I choose multiple players at the same time, I click, and that's the order they've gone in over here. Darren Daly 2, Davy Byrne 3, Philly McMahon 4. And I could go on, I could actually do the whole team like that. So let's have a look. We'll pick a team as it might be, say for the sake of argument, on the day. So we'll say next maybe James McCarthy. Again, I'm holding down control. Let's say with Keane O'Sullivan 6, John Small 7, let's say Mick McCauley 8, Paul Flynn 9, Kevin McMenamin 10, Dermot Connolly 11, Dean Rock 12, Paul Mannion 13, Paddy Andrews 14, and Cormac Costello 15. And you'll see I've chosen them all together. I click and they do go in here in the order that they were chosen. Again, if you knew straight away at the end of the game, you could put in your first sub. Let's say Bernard Brogan was your first sub, and you'll see in there S1 and so forward, so on, so forth, and there you go. So I now close that, and now my possessions, you'll see my players are there and they're ready to use for the various programs. You'll see there for possessions straight away. We've no video set up for this, and we don't actually need to. But we'll say for the sake of argument if we did options, and you go in here to video and you press change. So we'll put in local file. This is Dublin club game, Vincent and Ballymun, and we'd say okay. Obviously this Dublin Meath game is hypothetical, so I don't actually have the video, so I now press video and up comes the video and it started from there. So for the sake of argument now, we will say Stephen Cluxton has a neutral and it gets marked in there. Again, obviously you'll see the different videos in each individual section, but that's how you would set up. Again, that's for possession. Let's say you did the break analysis, so your first break comes down. There's no players marked in here because obviously with something like possession, everybody on the team is going to have possession at some point, whereas not everybody will be involved in a break. So you have more players, you click your first break. So let's say John Small ended up under the first break and he's won it. And there you go. Again, obviously things like zonal defence are whole team. You're not dealing with individuals. Long kickouts would be, again, same as more players. So again, your long kick out, let's say Diarmuid Connolly competed the first one and he won it clean, so on and so forth. Again, as you go into the videos on different sections, it will explain how those different individual sections work out. But for there, you'd be set up, you'd have your players in their team list, and from there you could move on and start to analyse the game.